I'm Bryce and welcome to Paper Platoon. Starting off with the creation of the homepage, user registration, user login, working 404, loading screens, and the game page were implemented for the groundwork of the project. The scene was made using 3 geometry, loaded textures, ambient and directional light, GLTF player character, and animated enemy models, along with responsive UI and responsive design. The server is deployed using Node and Express. Register pages are fully working, with appropriate responses, including error handling with username and passwords, but also has password complexity restrictions along with password encryption. User data is stored on a database and can be used to log in. Success and error messages are displayed appropriately here too. JWT is used for session control and user authentication during any request to the server once the user is logged in. A new user starts with a score of 0, and the keyboard is used to move around and shoot enemies to gain a high score. Scores are retrieved from the database via the server and are displayed and updated when the player plays the game. There is no user logged in. Scores are captured and scored locally, which are not added to the database. The database scores can be seen in the leaderboard correctly, loading high scores. The game is also playable on mobile with appropriate user buttons at the bottom of the screen. A particle impact has been added, along with instant mesh visual obstacles and a complex geometry ammo pickup. The enemy speed gradually increases as the player plays, which increases difficulty over time. So how does this all work? We have a client server and database. The client sends a request to the server does its processing and relevant communication with the database, and responds with an appropriate package back to the client. The database I decided to go with is MongoDB. As a NoSQL database, this was an efficient option with a sophisticated way to represent data on the server, and have an online hosted data cluster. When a user is created, a schema is used to format the newly created entry. In my instance, it was a username, password, and high score. For encryption of the user passwords, I used a library called bcrypt, a C++ library converted to JavaScript for portability. It is used to hash the user password before it is stored in the database. This hashing is used in tandem with the JWT and the JWT secret for session control and authentication of the user. Thank you for listening.